Hello viewers, welcome to another edition of National Focus. I'm your presenter Tarnia Green. It's always a pleasure to have you join us. Among the major developments, the Discover Dominica Authority to launch a return and win cruise conversion program. Government continues efforts to facilitate home and land ownership for all Dominicans, and Dominica joined the rest of the world on Tuesday in observing International Men's Day. Stay with me as I bring you the details of these and other stories right after the break.
If you can believe this,
come by my house and let me show you some movies.
why can't you believe this? Some mothers don't believe their own children when they say they've been sexually abused, and they don't report it. Remember, if anyone asks to see or touch their private parts, touches them inappropriately, shows them or forces them to touch one's private parts, has sex with them, shows them pornographic material, or deliberately lets them hear or see the act of sex, then it is sexual abuse. Believe your child and report the sexual abuse. For more information about child abuse, contact these agencies. This message brought to you by UNICEF and this station.
Thanks for staying with us. Time now for the details of the news. The Dominica Youth Business Trust, the DYBT, has joined over 120 countries across the globe this week to observe Global Entrepreneurship Week 2013, taking place from November 18 to the 24. This major global event, which started in 2008 by the Kaufman Foundation, has become the universal stage of the entrepreneurial community for shaping the next generation of entrepreneurs and turning creativity, ingenuity, and tireless efforts into products, processes, and technologies that change the world. Minister for Culture, Youth and Sports, Honorable Justina Charles, who issued a statement on Monday on Global Entrepreneurship Week, says her ministry is delighted to partner with the Dominica Youth Business Trust in hosting Global Entrepreneurship Week for the 4th successive year. She says Global Entrepreneurship Week in Dominica will see several and very diverse events related to entrepreneurship.
During this week, the Dominica Youth Business Trust partners with various public and private sector institutions and regional and international organizations in staging several events to observe Global Entrepreneurship Week 2013. These events are among thousands of worldwide activities staged this week to create life-changing entrepreneurial experiences for millions of young people throughout the continent and sub-regions.
On Tuesday, the Dominica Youth Business Trust staged a youth entrepreneurship symposium in creative arts and music at the Dominica Public Service Union, where over 100 young artists and musicians explored economic opportunities within the sector. Meantime, the Dominica Youth Business Trust on Wednesday, November 20, will hold its 9th graduation and awards ceremony at the Arak House of Culture, where over 60 deserving entrepreneurs will be awarded for their entrepreneurial achievements. At that ceremony, the Youth Development Division will recognize 3 former Chief Youth Development Officers for their sterling contributions to youth development in Dominica.
10 mentors will be presented with their formal mentors certification, and a young businessman and woman will be awarded as male and female entrepreneur of the year.
On Thursday, 21st November, the Dominica Youth Business Trust will host a national exposition on the ground floor of the government headquarters, where dozens of DYBT entrepreneurs will showcase and trade their products. This week, the DYBT, in partnership with the Waitukubuli Entrepreneurs Levy, Invest Dominica Authority, the American Peace Corps, and other partner agencies, is host to a 1-week Emerging Entrepreneurs Retreat at the Jungle Bay Resort, where young Dominicans will be provided with the necessary preparatory tools for their entrepreneurial development. The minister in her statement said this week bears testimony of the tremendous work of the Youth Development Division in the empowerment of Dominican youth over the past 40 years. She said the important role played by the DYBT in the entrepreneurial empowerment of young businessmen and women in Dominica during the last decade is also being highlighted this week. On Monday, the Rosa Youth Center featured its Life Skills program and the achievement of young people in this program. In addition, winners of the 4-H Choral Speech and Public District Festival converged on the Dominica Public Service Union for a grand national competition. Young people also participated in a national beach and waterway cleanup campaign and constructed a bus stop in Grand Bay. For the second consecutive year, Dominica joined countries in the Caribbean and elsewhere around the globe in celebrating International Men's Day on Tuesday under the theme Keeping Our Men and Boys Safe so that they can become tomorrow's role model. The country's Minister for Gender Affairs, Honorable Gloria Shillingford, in an address to commemorate International Men's Day on Tuesday, called on the island's men to be role models in shaping family, society, and the country.
This theme speaks volumes for us as a people to pay greater attention to the safety and the security of our men in a world which is competitive and sometimes hostile for the survival of women.
The minister noted further that since men are in the minority, there is an even greater need to ensure those who are alive and available are role models for the boys and men who come thereafter.
As the breadwinner of families, we need our fathers and future fathers to be role models in order to execute their functions. They must ensure that they create and work in environments that are safe to enhance their physical, mental, spiritual, and social well-being. Men and boys need to refrain from creating environments that are unsafe for them and their families. In so doing, they must refrain from some of the habits which impede their own safety and those of others.
The minister called on Dominican men to continue portraying good examples and to be good role models to the boys as the men and fathers of tomorrow. She commended the many men in society who have continued to stand resolutely with their families in good and bad times and are being good father figures and role models to the society. Such is the kind of position which makes for better homes and a happier nation, she said. The minister also highlighted the work of the Caribbean Male Action Network, CARIMAN, in creating a niche and platform where men can dialogue and discuss with each other on matters of common interest and concern. She called on CARIMAN to be a safe haven for men and boys. In doing so, the minister pledged her support to the CARIMAN organization. In more news, last Sunday, 17 November, was observed around the world as International Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims. The World Health Organization's Global Status Report on Road Safety 2013 presents information on road safety from 182 countries, accounting for almost 99% of the world's population. The report indicates that worldwide, the total number of road traffic deaths remain unacceptably high, up to a 2 million per year. According to the WHO, only 28 countries covering 7% of the world's population have comprehensive road safety laws on 5 key risk factors: drinking and driving, speeding, and failing to use motorcycle helmets, seat belts, and child restraints. Secretary General of the United Nations Ban Ki-moon made a statement on that occasion. In his message, the Secretary General noted that annually more than 1.24 million people die and another 50 million are injured in road traffic crashes. He said, and I quote, "Behind these statistics, he reminds us, are grieving parents, children, siblings, colleagues, and friends, end of quote, as well as the many families reduced to poverty through either the loss of a breadwinner or the costs associated with loss of income and prolonged medical care, end of quote. While the Secretary General acknowledges the efforts being made in cities across the world, he calls for continued action on road safety as part of the future development agenda. This report serves as a baseline for the Decade of Action for the Road Safety 2011-2020 declared by the UN General Assembly. Details of the report revealed as at 2011, 50% of all road fatalities involve motorized 2- and 3-wheel vehicles, resulting in the deaths of just over 1,600 people in Dominica. The report also assesses factors relating to road safety in Dominica. It is noted that a lead agency for road safety is established. Training is available for doctors and nurses in emergency medicine. Seatbelt laws exist for both front and rear passengers, and laws against drinking and driving are also in place. Additional information on the day and on the Decade for Action on Road Safety 2011-2020 is available on the website of the World Health Organization. And a place of shelter is one of the basic needs of human beings. The Labour Party administration has made it clear its mandate to facilitate proper living conditions for all Dominicans. This mandate propelled the creation of the Housing Revolution program, which has given scores of underprivileged citizens a chance to own a proper home. As part of this program, several Dominicans of the working class are also now able to realize the dream of home ownership. Government, in its quest to make housing more affordable, has put several initiatives in place. At a recent handing over ceremony, Honorable Skerritt made mention of some of the initiatives undertaken by government to facilitate cheaper financing for prospective homeowners.
We have provided loans to the aid bank. In the first instance, I believe $5 or $7 million. Secondly, $10 million for housing, and I shall make another available for the NPC, another $5 million available to the aid bank to on-lend to prospective homeowners at 5% interest. And I dare say, nowhere in the Caribbean you get mortgage loans at 5% interest. Only in Dominica, because of the progressive thinking of this government, because of the compassion this government has for people, and because of the government's intention to ensure that every single Dominican can afford a decent home to call theirs, we have been moving in that direction.
Public officers are also able to source cheaper loans for building their homes through the Government Housing Loans Board. Another aspect of the housing revolution is the squatter regularization program. Through this initiative, Prime Minister Skerritt says hundreds have become legitimate landowners. Prime Minister Skerritt indicated that more lots will soon be made available in other parts of the island.
We are now doing the roads and infrastructure in Platinum Pier in Collio, where something 80 or 85 lots will be available to the residents in Collio. We shall go into Lily Valley to make additional lots available to them there. In Cochrane, we have about 4 or 5 acres of land, the government, that will be making lots available there, and this will put infrastructure. In Sansova, we have started infrastructure there to make lots available to the residents of Sansova and Piditsufre, particularly those who are living in very precarious and vulnerable locations.
Improving communication skills in customer service was the objective of a training session on Tuesday, where over 70 public servants were targeted. Throughout the year, various government departments have been undergoing customer service training, and on Tuesday, the trainees came from 7 departments. Newcomers were the Postal Agency, Inland Revenue Division, Princess Margaret Hospital, and the Government Printery. Continuing their customer service training schedule were the Customs and Excise Division, the Establishment, Personnel and Training Department, and the Registry Office. These offices were selected because they deal directly with customers. Training these public officers in 4 sessions were senior level officials who were trained in customer service and customer service training earlier this year by consultant Dr. Ben Henry of Trevor Hamilton and Associates of Jamaica. Tuesday's first session was led by Cecilia Carr, the acting senior administrative officer in the Reform Management Unit. Her lesson was based on enhancing vocal communication.
Customer service is very, very critical. And in other sectors of the economy, it has also been realized that there is a lack of effective customer service within the country on a whole. There are a number of efforts are being made right now in different sectors, the tourism sector especially, to improve the way that people treat the public. And it is not really, it's not optional, it is a mandatory requirement that people are treated well when they come for service. A lot of the people who come to our shores, they are very amenable to that. They know how they are supposed to be treated, and when they do not get that type of treatment, it is easy for them to give a negative impression, and sometimes the recommendations and the things that they say reach the wrong places and it affects us negatively. So it's important that as young public officers, you realize and take action early to address communication skills so that we are able to enhance our customer service in the public service.
Carr says these training programs are not options, but rather requirements. And finally, this news time from Wednesday, November 20th, cruise visitors will be able to redeem prizes when they return to the island as stay-over visitors. On first-time arrival to the island, crew and passengers will be able to register at the Bayfront Visitor Information Office. This new program, funded by the Discover Dominica Authority, gives returning visitors credits of US $100 towards minimum 5-night stays on the island on their next stay-over visit. In addition, visitors will receive one of the following: Carnival season event passes, World Creole music passes, dinner at a local participating restaurant, tours, or credit towards a vehicle rental with a minimum 4-day rental. Each of these prizes is valued up to $100 US. According to a release from the DDA, the Return and Win program will be fully funded by the DDA until 2014, after which service providers can play bigger roles by registering their packages. This engaging new promotion is another way of reaching the goal of 90,000 stay-over visitors by the year 2015. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We now join McPherson St. Luce. He's up next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, le gouvernement Dominique a continué et puis mentorship programme fait GNS tapé travail. Parole salaire sorti au ministre de l'Employement, Honorable Dr. John Colin McIntyre.
Mentorship programme ça c'est une place comme Astafan, Church, Nassif, ACS, une place comme DCP, Bello, toute place où Dominique là, il y a faire travail à gouvernement aussi comme c'est dit IDA, DDA, tourism, toutes ces ministries là qui besoin jeunes monde qui aller l'école, qui ont un degree, qui ont un certificat, qui les travaillent. Yo ça vini register et puis l'office ça avec ça nous fait nous prend yo et ben nous mettre yo comme si des IDA ou DDA ou tourism dit yo besoin des jeunes moun des moun pour aider à dans particulier à dans manière c'est nous ça pour yo mettre yo là avec nous que payer ces moun ça non nous pas comme parler pour l'argent qu'il a pour payer toutes ces moun qui travaillent pour Dominique. Nous, the budget là qui passé, comme Premier ministre dit, nous launch un employment initiative. Avec pour initiative ça, nous tapé d'autres l'argent pour ça. Parce que l'argent pour payer les gens qui travaillent déjà, ça c'est un different matter. So ça nous qu'a fait, nous rouler chemise nous avec nous aller dehors là pour acheter l'argent pour venir pour aider les jeunes monde Dominique.
Pendant la nouvelle, membre parlement pour Gouambé, Honorable Justina Charles, qui a fait un report quantité l'argent qui est déjà dépensé en tête monde depuis qu'il venait membre parlement. Honorable Charles fait parole sur la holding de l'argent qui a dépensé à ce chimé village là.
Si c'est pour garder valeur l'argent, depuis moins venu qu'on parle rep, nous avons dépensé en chimé montine pour ranger chimé là pour faire bagaille plier pour Jean tête monde et montine. Nous avons dépensé plus que 730 $000, 259,65 cents. So ça c'est valeur nous avons dépensé. Nous ni d'autres nous avons dépensé, mais nous quand nous parlons contre tête mon événement montine. So ça nous que continuer là ni d'autres côté qui besoin fait avec qu'on parle rep mon ka dit yo mon que fait ça mon père avec mon ça avec corporation avec support ministre finance prime minister là mon ça il toujours aimer aider nous avec toujours aimer address situation pour like affecter community. So mon ça il continuer travailler avec moi pour faire l'argent là comme on commandé pour y nous ça qui ça nous ni pour nous continuer travailler là en les chimé montine avec tête monde.
D'autres activités qui continuent semaine là qu'on division GNS qui observé semaine GNS à Dominique. Monsieur John Roach, c'est chef département GNS à Dominique.
Mercredi nous keni on joue c'est whole jour c'est le matin nous keni ça nous qui forage programme nous. Là en forage programme ça nous keni en compétition moun qui parle en public avait aussi ça nous qui est choral speech moun qui fait certaines bagages avec bouche avec yo ka servi koyo pour mener un massage so nous qui ça choral speech avait les après-midi nous qui en graduation avait un awards là nous qui honoré trois moun qui a fait contribution pour youth development en Dominique. Moun comme Miss Elizabeth Alfred, Davis Layton, et Jules Pascal, et aussi DYBT qui est une graduation, et nous qui est une graduation leadership. Nous expectons Prime Minister qui est là pour adresser ces jeunes moun là.
Finalement, compagnie de Wasco ni projet de l'eau qui a bâti tout le monde en pays là. Parole sans la sortie de officier relations publiques, M. Edward Regis.
Nous aussi avons un gros projet, nous commençons encore. Qui est Water Area 1 Augmentation Program. Ça c'est un projet qui a aidé nous pour tuer l'eau dans la première façon, commune horde mero pour casser confort. Comme ça, c'est ça nous n'est plus moun en Dominique, la population a plus gros horde mero pour aller casser confort. Et nous avons plus différentes facilités nationales, comme l'hôpital là, stadium là avec un pile hôtel avec différentes places comme ça il est bien important pour nous toujours ni gros c'est pas ça comme ça nous avons un gros projet qui a coûté un pile d'argent pour augmenter le système glo en ces places là comme ça même qu'à continuer nous bâtir un gros storage tank un massacre avant l'autre Springfield, nous avons fait différents bulletins.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson Luce. Au revoir.
Coming up next, your tip of the day. Don't go away.
Do you have uncovered water storage drums around your home? Do you dispose of old tires, cans and old containers capable of holding water anywhere in your environment? Are you being bitten by mosquitoes, particularly at dusk and early morning? Do you keep houseplants in water? Do you spend your hard-earned cash to control mosquitoes? Has your community experienced dengue fever outbreaks? If your answer is yes to at least 3 questions above, you are at risk to dengue fever. Join the fight against dengue fever. The responsibility for a dengue-free Dominica lies with you. So, get rid of the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
Today we'll share with you a few tips on how you can prevent diabetes. Diabetes prevention is as basic as eating more healthy, becoming more physically active, and losing a few pounds. And it's never too late to start. Making a few simple changes in your lifestyle now may help you avoid the serious health complications of diabetes down the road, such as nerve, kidney, and heart damage. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and your comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website at news.gov.dm. Friend us on our Facebook page and be sure to like our GIS Dominica fan page. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm your presenter, Tarnia Green. Thank you so much for watching, and do remember to join us again tomorrow.